Well, good afternoon, everybody. This is the beginning of having 370 available again. So I'm sure there are residents who are watching on HHTV. We're very glad that that can happen. So let us move along to the agenda for today. I will, of course, speak, and then Erica, our CEO, will speak, and Jennifer will give her Monday market report. Shan will give the treasurer's report. Mary Ann will talk about the minutes. And then we have two spotlights, one on the library, the Horizon House Library, with Pam Daly and Judy Klein. And then another spotlight on the Friday night films with Emmett Keeler. Mary Koch will mention the program that's going to be here tomorrow morning, digging into our archives. Bill Augusta has a few words to say about programs and committees, and there will be an opportunity for anybody who has any announcements to make those. I will mention those who have earned their Ducks in a Row award or sticker. I'm not sure if Bill has any burning questions, although I think I've thought of one that I want to ask him for next month. Bill says good. That's the only one. We'll take any other questions you have. And remember that there will be committee representatives in the Fireside Lounge afterwards. So, as usual, I'm going to start off with some jokes. I will tell you these are not my jokes, but I appreciate the fact that 3 of our residents submitted jokes for me to say at this meeting. Actually, there are 4 of them because one submitted 2, and that was Priscilla Warr. Oh boy. Her jokes or question is, what is blue and doesn't weigh very much? Light blue. You got applause rather than groans. What is red and smells like blue paint? Red paint. Okay, moving on. Gordon Orion submitted this one. Why did the deposed king become a bootblack? Did I hear somebody guessing at that one? No? Okay. Because for him it was either rain or shine. That was a groaner. Okay. And from Karen Fern. If the king sleeps in a king-sized bed and the queen sleeps in a queen-sized bed, where does the prince sleep? In an air mattress. Well, I think we succeeded pretty well. Congratulations to those who submitted them. So bad they were good, right? Okay, moving on to my serious report. I want to talk about the independent examiner's report. The resident council bylaws require that there be a study of residence council procedures for handling monies, whether checks or cash, to make sure that everything's on the up and up. This is required every 3 years, and it's done by someone who doesn't actually handle any funds, so that we're sure that this is an honest, true, independent report. So this year I asked Mike Gould to do the report for 2025. And he observed the procedures in use for the employee gift fund, for the Monday market, for the fund disbursement, that is, writing checks to people who are owed money. And he also interviewed all of the volunteers. His conclusion was the three examined processes rely on a combination separation of duties and the fact that no one person deals with monies, whether cash or checks, individually. Built-in redundancies ensure that money counts are accurate and data is entered correctly. If these safeguards are followed, I am confident that the control procedures we have in place are adequate. This is his full report. It's 5 pages. It will be filed in the library. And so any of you who would like to read all the details are welcome to go there and read it. Moving on, I want to talk about what the West Tower Transition Committee has been doing. The committee established some goals for 2025. I'm going to talk about only 3 of them. First of all, the first goal is to maintain awareness of our current residents' satisfaction or dissatisfaction with life at Horizon House during construction. Karen Perret is developing a box that will be in the mailroom, and it'll be for your comments and your suggestions. So there'll be a form, and just, fill it out in your own words and put it in the box anytime you feel like saying something about how you think you're getting along or other people are getting along. And of course, if you don't want to write things down, you can always speak with me or email me or any other member of the committee. I did put a list of all the committee members on the bulletin board in the mailroom just to your left as you enter, the one that has all the information about the Residents' Council. The next goal is to identify strategies for the current campus to mitigate the construction impacts. So, on Wednesday afternoons, every Wednesday now, we have Escape the Noise. And those are the outings planned by Brian Byers and Jenny Filius. I want you to know that these are free. They're funded by Horizon House. You don't need to pay a $15 bus fee or anything else. Last week, the group went to Alki, and they were very excited because they saw orcas. And there's a picture that one of them took. There was a YouTube video that we wished we could have loaded onto this slideshow, but we weren't able to. But someone took a video of all of our residents standing there looking out at the water. It was really cute. Tomorrow, they're going to Golden Gardens Park and Dick's Burger. The limit is 12 persons on the bus, on the Horizon House bus. You can sign up on K2 or K4. It's K4, isn't it? K4 or at the front desk. If you don't know how to use K4, just go to anyone at the front desk and they should be able to sign you up. Limit of 12. And next week, they'll be going to Snoqualmie Falls and to Bames Candy in Issaquah. And you're all thinking about those candies. I will tell you, I had some not too long ago, and I was almost crying when I tasted it. It was just so good. I think it was the marzipan-filled one. Really delicious. So keep looking at the alert. All of the trips will be in the alert each week, and it should be going on and be very popular. Very occasionally, the date might be changed from a Wednesday if there's a conflict with something else that has to happen on Wednesday. And then the Let's Get Out visits. Those are the tours that Barbara McHargue is continuing. And she changes those every week, different days, different destinations, so keep your eye on the alert for that. Now, those tours use public transportation. And Barbara is really great about showing anyone how to use light rail or the bus or whatever public transportation you're going to be using for those trips. But I would like to know from all of you, how many of you would like more information on how to use the public buses or the light rail or Uber? Yeah, please raise your hands. Quite a few of you, okay. Would you prefer having Metro come and show you their maps and show you how to get on and off the buses? And I think this includes those of you who use walkers or wheelchairs, because the buses and light rail can accommodate those. Or would you rather do this on kind of a one-on-one basis, having a fellow resident, for example, show you how they do it? So how many prefer to have Metro come? Looks like most of you. Any prefer the one-on-one? Just a few. Okay. We'll try and get Metro, and we'll also, for those of you who would prefer it, let me know and we'll try and arrange that. The other thing I'd like you to know, and Nick may speak about this a little later, we are soon going to have live cam to watch the construction, even if you're not able to get outside and see it for yourself. So that'll be cool. That will be at 370, channel 370 at particular times, and it might be on HH Connect so we can see it whenever we feel like it. A few of us on our walk purposely went to Freeway Park and went up to the railing, and boy, were we fascinated by what was going on, and we kept waiting for that giant piece of concrete to fall all at once. A couple of other things to tell you. The storage lockers at the church. There haven't been that many residents who've wanted to get their things out of storage, so they may cut back to 1 day a week for the shuttle. But if there's something specific you need, if you talk to Brian Holtz, let him know, and they can just get that out of the storage for you rather than you're having to make a trip. I also wanted to say, because this is a question that has come up, that there is one vacant apartment for those residents who are at their 10-year occupancy and who are having their apartments remodeled or renovated, so that you don't have to go off campus and find a space for yourself. You can have an apartment here on campus when that's going on. And then another of our goals is to plan for how to integrate the future West Tower residents into the culture of Horizon House. So right now, committees may ask marketing to invite depositors to their special programs. So if you know you're going to be doing something, a dance program or, the photography show that we're having, or a music program or something, and if you think you'll have room for the depositors, go down to marketing and tell them to send out an email to all the future depositors to invite them to that particular program. Now, some committees may want to have or are inviting future residents to start participating with them in kind of their regular activities. Horizon House singers, I believe, have 1 or 2 depositors singing with them and rehearsing every week. So if you're interested in doing that, let Bill Augusta know, and he can contact marketing about that. Now, preparing for the future. We know that we had a similar issue when the North Tower was built about how to integrate the new residents with those who have lived here longer. So Sam Sperry and Lori Warfield Larson are interviewing those residents and the employees who were here when the North Tower opened and learning what went well and what maybe didn't go so well, so that we will be better prepared for the future. The welcoming committee, especially the mentors, will have a big role to play when the new residents begin to move in. And I suspect that Sam Sperry, who's chair of the welcoming committee, will be encouraging residents to become mentors on that occasion, because we will need a lot of them. The West Tower Transition Committee meets the first Monday of every month, and the members, as I said, are listed on the bulletin board. And now I will ask Erica to come up here and say whatever she would like to say.
Thank you, Ronnie. All right, well, so good to see everybody here. I see quite a bit of green today. It's interesting. I was commenting to someone, St. Patrick's Day, kind of subtle here in Seattle. You know, no Green River like Chicago. No people, everybody came to work today. Where I'm from, very few people work on St. Patrick's Day. The bars open at 7 a.m. and people get started at 7 a.m. and, you know, then people don't come to work the next day because they've been at the bar since 7 a.m. So, you know, just a subtle difference. All right, I just have a couple of bright spots and a couple of things to share with you. I feel like I haven't been here a lot, and it is true. I did get a chance to go to an American Healthcare Executive Conference, and it was a wonderful change for me. You know, typically when I go to conferences, I'm either presenting or at a board meeting or, you know, just have a lot of agendas that I have a big agenda. Whereas this conference, I was able to go and just be a student. And that's what I did. 7:30 a.m. till 5:30 p.m. I was just in session after session, soaking it all up. And it was with a little bit, an adjacent industry. This is mainly health systems. And it was important for me. I do hold a credential that a lot of the hospital presidents have. And so, you know, you have to get your CEUs. But it was really important for me to try to learn, how are the health systems tackling some of our shared issues? So I wanted to share a couple of key takeaways with you. You know, of course, everybody's talking about workforce like they have been since COVID. But I will tell you that health systems have had to normalize how they utilize contract staff in a way that I know I've heard people say, oh my gosh, we have a lot of contractors that come in, especially into our assisted living. Well, I found out there are hospital systems all throughout the country where their entire workforce is contracted. They don't have any employees anymore, which was interesting. I learned a lot about, just how they're funding their work. We are building the West Tower. We went through the big financing and now it's being built. Many people in health systems, they're not able to do that. They have to build the shell. They have to wait and raise a little bit more money. They build a little bit more. They raise a little bit of money. So a, 2-year, 3-year project could take, 8 or 9 years because they just don't have the funding to do so. So, very, very different. So my big takeaway is that, number one, we all have to be flexible with workforce. What we're learning, and we're seeing it here today at Horizon House, nurses in particular don't necessarily want to come and work somewhere 40 hours a week. They don't, where they not only are doing kind of the clinical work, but they have a lot of other things that they have to do. Many are saying, I'll come in for 20 hours a week and do clinical only at your location, and then I'm going to go somewhere else for another 20 hours a week and I'll do something clinical, and I don't have to be bogged down with all of the other admin things. So we are seeing that here as we are trying to do a different sort of work model for assisted living. We don't have applicants pouring in, and we've had to do quite a bit of revision to our recruitment. Same thing the hospitals are seeing. People want flexibility. They don't want to be on a schedule all the time. They want to work when they want to work. And sometimes they want to travel when they want to travel. So again, these are things we're paying attention to. We're paying attention to what are the things we absolutely need people to do. We're asking our workforce to be flexible, because we also know that with AI, and of course, AI was a big portion of the conference, what you can automate, you don't have a choice but to do. So I just say all that to say these are things that we're looking at. These are things that the hospital systems are looking at. And so healthcare will look very different, in the next 5 to 10 years. It's constantly evolving, and the workforce is pushing us to evolve even faster. And again, we know a lot of this was exacerbated by COVID. So that was really my takeaway. I wanted to let everybody know I had a chance, it'll be 2 weeks on this Friday, to be interviewed. I don't know if any of you have ever heard of the City Makers podcast, the Seattle City Makers podcast. Has anybody listened to that? So I had the great pleasure to be, on that podcast with the Downtown Seattle Association and John Scholl. And so it's something you can listen to on Spotify and Apple Podcasts if you are interested. And what came out of that was so exciting. Last week, Amanda and I had the opportunity to attend the State of the Downtown, the 2026 State of Downtown. And in that event, Horizon House was highlighted so prominently with over 1,000 people in attendance. John Scholl called out Horizon House, our commitment to Seattle, our commitment to downtown. He is classifying First Hill as downtown, and just gave us a wonderful shout out. And so I do have that video. I'm going to find a way to post that for all of you to see that as well. And so I'm hopeful that with that, people who are thinking about moving, Horizon House will be top of mind. I want to tell you a little bit about occupancy and growth. We are currently at 94% for our independent living. As you know, our budgeted occupancy is 97.5%. So we are still behind. We're working on quite a few things to try to increase it. We have units available. We are going to start to put those units on the website and share with you, like we did at the last fireside chat, what we have available. So if you have friends who are interested in moving into Horizon House, they can get into Horizon House. They don't have to wait unless they are really specific with what unit they want. If you know people who are flexible, they can get in now, and we do have units available. Assisted living is 100% occupied. So we're very proud that is staying fully occupied. And right now we are at 154 or 78% deposited for the West Tower. Yep. So, yep. A little bit behind where we want to be. And I say that because we're getting ready to go into the selections process phase. And that is a time period where people start to change their mind. Right now it seems so far away, but now when you start to ask people questions, about their specific unit and what is it they may want, now it becomes very real, and they have to think about, oh my goodness, I have to move. And so people undoubtedly at that time change their mind. So we know we will have some cancellations. We've been very fortunate throughout this entire process. We have not had nearly the cancellations that were anticipated, but we know that they're coming. So we do have to get caught back up with our West Tower reservation deposits. We are about depending on how March ends up, we are going to be either 3 or 4 behind where we should be. Wanted to let you know kind of the long-awaited office move so we can get started on the bistro is happening next week. So Beth, myself, Lori, and Robert will be moving on next Monday up to the 2nd floor. And then Christy, Brian Holtz and Sandy will move on the 24th. And then the rest of the accounting department will move on March 30th. And so we'll make sure this is posted if you go looking for people so you know where they are. But, we have the elevators working that will, bring you right up to that suite. And we hope that does not slow any visits down since we're not right by the bistro. And I want to let you know is I do have office hours, but I found out not many of you know that. I have standing office hours every week, and very rarely do I even get any visitors. And I was, it was brought to my attention. Well, nobody knows. So I want to share with you my office hours. So starting Monday, April 6th, I will have office hours on Mondays between 3 and 3:45. And that's just open, drop in. Check with Beth, because there may be somebody in, chatting with me, but check with Beth. And then Beth will also set another hour aside every week for office hours that you can actually schedule. However, I won't be in office on Monday, April 20th. I'll be out of the office at a conference. And then our next fireside chat is March 27th coming up. So thank you.
Erica, will you take questions?
Yes, I'll take questions.
Phyllis over there has a question.
With assisted living being so full, with assisted living being so full, is there going to be an issue if someone from independent living needs to move?
It has not. We've worked out a really helpful system. So if people do need to move, we will work and support home care. Assisted living does turnover. It does. And so we do have a wait list. Same thing. If somebody is out at skilled nursing and they need to come back into assisted living, they need to move from independent living, they're on a wait list, but we will support, we'll support them in the skilled nursing until we can get them back to Horizon House. Yes. Sam has a question. Thank you.
This is an old one, and I think everybody knows, but let me ask the question anyway. The reception area is cold, and the doors stay open. And what I don't understand, Erica, is why there can't be some portable heaters put in between the two doors so that some of that cold air can be mitigated. But I feel for the staff behind that desk. I know they have heaters down there, but what's the status of how that could get better?
I will have to follow up, Sam. I'm going to make myself a note and I will follow up with you. And so you're saying heaters like in the vestibule or out in the lobby area near the door?
No, between the doors. So
okay.
There are,
I know what you're talking about. All right. Okay. I will check on that and follow up. All right. Okay. All right. Thank you. I'm so sorry. I have another meeting, but thank you all.
Next on our agenda is Jennifer Stucker to give her Monday market report.
So happy St. Patrick's Day to everyone. The Monday market on the third floor has been in operation for 7 weeks now. It continues to evolve in its new setting. Shoppers offer compliments on the room arrangement and the display of items. The flow of people varies throughout the day, often depending on what event or program is happening here at Horizon House. I expect that the onset of spring weather will also impact the number of visitors to the market due to travel and the lure to the outdoors for the warmer weather. So on to money. The total deposits for February were $5,248. So that was our first month of being reopened. Employee purchases were low for February, totaling $660. But March has been very different so far. More staff members are making their way to the third floor. Some of you may have seen the presentation that Elizabeth Hoover and I did about the new market to the fireside chat. Our goal was to orient people to the new setting and the distribution of merchandise. And, of course, to welcome, in fact, encourage you to donate and shop. Lately, we've observed an increase in non-residents frequenting the market. I have a couple of requests regarding the clothing portion. Items stored in mothballs proved to be problematic. I've tried. And some people, the volunteers and potential purchasers, find the odor sickening. Also, as the weather changes, we're all tempted to get rid of the old, unworn winter pieces. I applaud that intent. The problem for me is the lack of storage in the market. If you're able to hold on to those pieces until next September or October, we'd be in a much better position to prepare them for display and sale. Just don't store them in mothballs. As always, I want to acknowledge our core volunteers who make it all work. Many thanks to all. And now we have Sean.
All happy St. Is that on? Okay. Happy St. Patrick's Day. Obviously, the green is associated with the Treasury, we hope, not the red. So I'll be giving you the financial status as of the end of February and a little bit about how we were doing compared to 2025. So that the first thing you're seeing here is our profit and loss statement, our operating statement. And by the way, I post the slides and the things that I do here along with the more detailed reports in the library for previous months. So if anybody wants to poke around on these things, you can see them there. But basically, February looks fantastic, unrealistically fantastic, unfortunately, because we got an $80,000 grant from Horizon House, and that hit the books in February. So it looks like we're really doing great. And we're not doing badly. Money market is back in operation. It's still not bringing in quite as much income on a weekly basis as it did last year. But I really want to thank the residents among you who made almost $600 in tax-deductible donations to the Residents' Council in February. And I have been encouraging those of you who aren't shoppers or haven't got anything to donate at the moment to think about a donation as an alternative way to support what we do in terms of our programs here. So that helped to make up for some of the lagging sales. And I will remind you that last year, even with what we did bring in Monday Market, of course, it was closed for a month last year, but we still ran up a very large deficit. So we still have we're grateful to the Horizon House board for their gift to help make that up. If I look at how we're doing compared to last year, and I just did one little graph for you. The blue line is a cumulative of our expenses for programs and administration. I left out our outreach because the big check for $10,000 that we give to the Employee Gift Fund and larger checks, $2,000 that we give to Partners in Sharing, really distort whatever month we happen to do that. Suddenly jumps up. But these, as you see, are pretty level over the course of the year. And basically the red line, which is this year, we're right on target with our expenses to where we were last year. The Finance Committee met in February after we received this $80,000 and agreed that we should put $70,000 of it back essentially into our reserves. And this replaces the $54,000 CD that was taken out of the reserves at the end of last year in order to handle our cash flow, and then adds another $16,000 essentially from that grant that we got in. And as a result of that, and this is the balance sheet, as a result of that, our reserves, the certificates of deposit, are now up to about almost $202,000. And that's a little higher actually than our reserves were last year. It may be a little tougher to see that because last year we had $95,000 in the savings account. And sometime later in the year, not in February, we decided to put all of the reserves into CDs. So basically that $95,000 moved out. So we had just under $200,000 last year at this time. So that's where we are financially. And Ronnie and I will be closely monitoring our expenses and our income, and we have a quarterly meeting scheduled with Christy Seymour on April 2nd, our first meeting, to really make sure that we stay in touch about how we're doing and whether we need additional funds. So, and the next person up is Marianne.
Hello, everybody. The minutes from the February meeting, general meeting, were distributed and updated. Are there any other corrections or additions to the minutes? If not, the minutes are accepted. Thank you. And next up is Pam and Judy. I don't know how to advance this. Oh, here we go. Marianne. Push what? Oh, I'll pull that for you. That's okay. I just wanted to push this. Did it. Okay. Thank you. Okay. The last time we stood here, we gave you a virtual tour of the library, but this time, instead of that, because most of you probably have done your own tours, today we want to talk more about the committee and hope that you might want to join us in the committee and help volunteer. There are about 55 members currently on the library committee, and it's a very active committee, though. It sounds like a lot of people, but we need them. We really do. But before we give you a glimpse into what we actually do and what everything is involved, my co-chair, Judy Klein, is going to talk about how books are selected.
Residents have asked me how we choose which books to buy each month. We have a 6-member selection committee. Each member proposes 5 titles, fiction and nonfiction. From these titles, 12 to 15 books are purchased. We keep in mind that our library is a library of general interest, and more specialized titles can be purchased or ordered from Bookmobile. We shop at 3 independent bookstores. In addition to purchasing books, we receive donations. If you are interested in donating more than 10 books, call Pam or me, and we will come to your apartment. Up to 10 books can be placed in the donation drawer. Thank you.
Thank you, Judy. All right. Once we have the books, then we need to process them, and it takes quite a number of people to actually do that. Different volunteers are involved in each of the processes, and it includes cataloging, printing the new book lists, updating the library computer, and printing and filing the catalog cards. We still have a card catalog. It's wonderful. The new books then need to be labeled and covered. And finally, they're put out on the new bookshelf on in the late afternoon of the first Thursday of the month. And then people can start signing them out. And then reversing the whole process. After several years, if books have not been taken out, they are withdrawn from the library to make space for more. At one point, we were just crammed, and we just had a big culling session recently. All right. We have a number of subcommittees, including the advisory committee, which just does kind of keeps a general eye on how everything is going. And then we have the paperback subcommittee, magazines, writers read, newspapers, and these committees create their own timelines and schedules, and they work things out. Judy and I really don't have anything to do with that. They do that themselves. Then we have some individuals who actually do quite a bit. And they include Books by Us and About Us. Thank you, Ronnie. Monday Market. Bookmobile Liaison. Sherry does that. We have a reserve clipboard for anybody who finds out if we have a book. Put your name down on the clipboard, and hopefully one of the shelvers will see your name and call you. And we also have a bulletin board. And again, Judy and I don't have anything to do with that. Somebody else does, and it's wonderful. And currently, and this is brand new, assisted living now has a bookshelf, is my understanding. And some of the donated books particularly would go up there. They're not library books per se, but we do provide for that. In addition to all these, and I probably have forgotten some, most committee members volunteer several weeks out of the year to shelve books. And that is, people love doing it. They say it's fun, it's easy, you can do it kind of when you want to, and you can sign up to do it at your own convenience, because if you're going on vacations, you don't have to worry about it then. Also, we have another kind of same type thing where you can pick your own time to do it. We have committee members who actually adopt a shelving stack, and it's their job to keep those shelves tidy and alphabetized and just looking nice. And currently, we could use some volunteers to do many things, but particularly shelving and keeping our stacks neat and tidy. All right. We would welcome any new committee members or people who have any interest in volunteering, and you'll be trained. I mean, Judy and I and others can show you what to do. Everybody is very friendly all the time. So if you want to join us to help keep our wonderful library going the way it does now, you're more than welcome. After this meeting is over, Louise Alburis and I will be out in the Fireside Lounge to talk to anybody who's interested. Plus, Louise actually has a wonderful handout on how to search online for books that are in the Horizon House Library. So, hopefully we'll see some of you after the meeting. Okay, next, Emmett, I believe Emmett Keeler, to talk about Friday night art films.
Okay. I just move it forward, I guess, right? Okay, hi everybody. The purpose of the committee is to show high-quality films every Friday night. Currently, we have 5, wait a minute. Yeah, currently we have 5 members on the committee, but we would be delighted to have more. And just let anyone on the committee named here show that you're interested, or you could come and kibitz one of our quarterly meetings to see. It's not much work. We show films that committee members agree are of high quality, but anybody who has gone to the Friday night movies know what they're about. So here's some examples. They're mostly foreign, so Belle de Jour is French, The Lives of Others is German, The Monk and the Gun was Bhutanese, Red was Polish, and Holy Motors was French. But the movies that we show are often prize winners at Cannes or SIFF here in Seattle. And usually they were popular with critics and in their countries of origin. And they can be classics or new. So probably everybody in this room knows that there's a lot of video action here at Horizon House. So people often come up to us and say, I really like this movie. Would you show it? Well, you know, we're always welcoming suggestions, but there's only 50 Fridays that we show movies on in the year. And there's many other people that show movies. So here's some examples. Saturday night movies show Hollywood movies. Secular humanists show movies that have some moral issue involved. Sam Sperry has festivals of movies of what he considers to be the golden age of Hollywood. Dave Marshak does concerts of popular musicians. There's the science, history, opera, orchestra. Everybody's showing videos. So most nights here, there's something good to hear or watch. But if not, if there's not something that catches your fancy, I should point out, I don't know if you've seen it yet, but the DVD library, we've got a wonderful DVD library here where you can check out DVDs and play them on your apartment DVD player if you have one, or down in the TV room. Let's see. There are 3 new cabinets. They're in the back of the TV room. So you see there's lots and lots of DVDs there. I'm going to be in the festival, the Fireside Lounge afterwards, if you want to talk about either movies you'd like to see or jumping on the committee. Okay, so next is Mary.
Tomorrow at 11 o'clock, we are holding a forum about the Resident Council archives. The Resident Council has before it a proposal to move these archives, which date back to 1961, to the University of Washington Special Collections Northwest Archives. Those archives at the UW already include archives of people who were Horizon House residents or who currently are. This proposal before the council has become a little bit controversial. And I'm brand new to the council, so this was a surprise to me because I didn't think controversy was allowed here. So, if you are weary of the controversies that are occurring out there in the world, I encourage you to come tomorrow and see how we can handle controversy in a friendly and amenable way. So 11 o'clock tomorrow. See you there. Oh, I don't know who's next.
Just a couple of things. A new committee chair to report to you. After 20 years of service, Georgia Nelson has retired as the chair of the Assisted Living Musicians, and Hazel Johnson has recently taken over. We're still looking for a chairman for the Photography Support committee. I'm sure there's some photographers here that would like to take charge of the council's small amount of photographic equipment. And the purpose of the committee is to provide photographs for things that the council needs and that any committee might need. I'd be glad to hear from you. New residents who have been here for at least 2 months can expect to hear from committee chairmen. We give as I said it, I think last time, we give the names of new residents, not at the very beginning, but after you've been here at least a couple of months, to the committee chairman in the hopes that they will contact you and offer you a meal perhaps, a chance to hear about what the committees do, and a chance to come and participate if you like. So you new residents should expect to hear from committee chairman over the next coming weeks. I'll be in the Fireside Lounge after this meeting closes and be glad to hear from anyone who wants to be in touch with a committee chair or learn about a committee. I'm not going to give the information about the committees, but I will be glad to take your names and put you in contact with the committee chairman. That applies to either new residents or people who've been here for many years. Thank you.
Thank you, Bill. And we'll wait. Now we have announcements, and I know Nick has something to tell us.
All right, happy St. Paddy's Day, everyone. So, of course, as Ronnie mentioned earlier, the big announcement, HHTV 2.0, it's back. We officially, as of yesterday, we kicked it online to 370. The reason why it took so long, of course, thank you everybody for your patience for this channel to come back online. We had to perform a lot of back-end upgrades, but in return, we were able to increase the stability and the reliability of all our scheduled programming. Before, I'm sure there were a lot of frustrations where, a program might be scheduled at a certain time, but it didn't play at that time. Maybe it came on 4 or 5 minutes later, or it just didn't show up at all. We have been able to increase that reliability of all our scheduled programming. And then also as a result of this, our upgrade has brought back the playback of DVDs, which I know is very much one thing that was very, very much missed when our functionality of DVDs kind of went down for our channel. So we're happy to bring back the playback of DVDs as well. It's also brought back a lot of flexibility to what we can broadcast. So we can now show video files or YouTube files. So we can still send over YouTube links and we can get a copy to put onto our channel. As we mentioned, DVDs, and then we can also do internal live streams. So just like anyone watching at home right now, we're able to broadcast these internally as well. There are some caveats about the DVD functionality. We have been bringing this up to people, so we want people to know and be as transparent as possible about this. A big issue that we ran into with DVDs is there was always some DVDs would produce kind of a low volume kind of thing that was happening. This is unfortunately out of our control. It's actually having to do with the people who master these movies and features. They're meant for stereo surround sound, but because basically our channel doesn't know what to do with those specific way it's mastered, some things can get kind of quiet. So dialogue might be a little quiet, but the action might be loud. It's something that we're trying to work through and see if there's any other potential solutions to it. But currently at this point, it's still something we're just working at. So, and then while all DVDs we've tested so far are super functional, there's still a possibility with maybe some foreign movies. We may not be able to utilize them depending on region code. We've tested a few and they've worked so far, but we don't want to jinx anything. We think we're in good hands, but good news is you can still play any of these in person in case this is not able to be played onto HHTV. We just won't be able to televise it on HHTV. But other than that, I think that's it. That's all I need to announce.
I have a question for you, Nick.
Sure.
About the DVDs, does that mean that, for example, if a committee like the Saturday Night Movies wants to offer it here in Horizon House and at the same time offer it in everyone's living rooms, they can do that.
Yes, we're able to simulcast between, anyone watching it on HHTV at home, and then in here we can also put on the channel as well for people to watch at the same exact time.
And it will be announced in the alert whether it is just in Horizon House or in Horizon House plus
Yes.
HHTV.
We are working with communications to make sure that this is properly relayed because, for about 2 months now, haven't put it in the alert that it's simulcasted on HHTV or in person. So it's just something we need to get back in our workflow and make sure that we're communicating that correctly to you guys. So, yeah.
Thank you, Nick. And I think we have another announcement. Let me go back to that. I believe that Sherry Williams wanted to say something about Water Month. Sherry, are you here?
Okay. I didn't
Sherry,
know
why don't you
start-
come up here so everyone can see you? No, I didn't think you were that shy.
Okay. I didn't know when this all started. I just thought we always talked about oceans, that I should talk about freshwater also. Anyway, World Water Day is a United Nations one, and it's been on quite a while. And their day is Sunday, the 22nd, this Sunday. But I thought Sunday was a silly day to do things around here because people come and go. So our day will be Monday from 10 to 1 in the Fireside Lounge. And we're going to have information about water and some of the things that you might have wanted to know, and just how lucky we are that we can just turn on our faucet and out comes drinkable water. That's not something that you find all over. And this year, the focus is on gender inequality in water. And they say, the theme sort of is, where water flows, equality grows. So it's this Monday, March 23rd in the Fireside Lounge from 10 to 1. Stop by. We'll have some recirculating videos, really short ones about water. And we'll also have some information. So come by.
Thanks, Sherry. Are there other announcements that anyone wants to make?
Just a reminder to everybody, the photo show is Tuesday and Wednesday next week. Tuesday, 11 to 7, Wednesday, 10 to 3. There are over 100 framed and matted photos, 80 digital photos that will be on the screen rotating. And also we have over 50 participants submitting their photos. So it'll be a great show. Hope to see you here next Tuesday, Wednesday, Anderson Hall. Thank you.
Yes, Joan.
This is an appeal to the people. This is an appeal to people who have the alarm wristband that belongs down in the swimming pool. We're back down to just one. We started with 5. If it's in your apartment, please take it back to the pool. Thank you.
But I will remind you that it's questionable whether the wristbands will work if they've been soaking in the pool. So rely on the ones that are hanging on the pillars all around the pool rather than the one on your wristband. Are there other announcements? Nothing else. Okay. Moving on then. It's my pleasure, as always, to announce who has earned their Ducks in a Row sticker. And this month, Patty Flowers did. Is Patty here? Stand up and be recognized. She's making a red hat. And is Norm Wells here? Well, we're very glad that Norm also earned his Ducks in a Row sticker. And Bill, do I understand that you did not have any burning questions this month?
Apparently, everything is in such good order and so transparent that there are no burning questions.
Well, I've got one for you to research and report on next month. And if any of you have others, please see Bill. Are there any other questions that anybody has about anything that we talked about today or anything else? If not, I will remind you before you leave, think about chatting with someone that you don't know well about what went on today or anything else that you'd like to talk about. Oh, I hear you doing that already. I'll let you know that the safety committee has reflector vests and whistles available in the Fireside Lounge, and all of these people will be in the Fireside Lounge for you to talk to and express any concerns or get any information that you want. Thank you for coming.